Hi, and thank you for coming to my channel. Today we're gonna do a fairy garden, and we're gonna put them on those hanging planters, the see-through hanging planters, and we're gonna put them on the window once we're done making them. So all the materials that we're gonna need are as follow. We went to the dollar store and we found all this fairy garden figurines, and we bought different ones. And we're gonna make 6 of them. So this is an example of the stuff that we're gonna use. So we bought 4 of the figurines of the packs, and then we have 1 pack of the floral moss. And then we're gonna use 6 of the planters that we're gonna hang on the window once we make our little fairy garden. We're gonna use a pack of glue sticks for our glue gun. We're gonna use cutting wire tweezers. I don't know how you call them, but they cut wire. Oh. And then I'm gonna use this to put the little things inside, as like if it was a tweezer but a longer one. I have a tweezer, so we're gonna use that, but I think it's too small. We're gonna use scissors to cut, and then to put the background for our little planters in the back, I have this that it was for a decoration. We're gonna cut it and put it in the back, like the back of the forest. And then I have white, and we're gonna use this one, cut them and put them in the back, in the background. We have this one, I'm thinking of using it like if they were part of a tree, because they're brown. I don't know if I'm gonna keep the leaves, so I'm gonna take them off. And then I have this, so we're gonna cut parts of the plant, and we can make it look like a tree and put it in the back, like if it was the background of our garden, our fairy garden. And then we have a pack of rocks, and we're gonna put it in our garden, and our little planters that we're gonna hang. So we're gonna get started. And I have a glue gun, just a simple glue gun. It's all beat up because I used it throughout the years. So that's what we're gonna use to make our little garden. So let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is we want to open up all our little fairy figurines that we're going to use. So here are the little figurines. They're so cute. I hope you can see. Here's another pack. And all this, I bought it at the dollar store. Even this one's, that's the name of it. They're at the dollar store. You can even buy the case of 12. You could order it online too, from the Dollar Tree, I think it is. And they're $1. And we're gonna, once our fairy garden is done, we're gonna hang them on the window. So then we have a little bird, and a deer and a rabbit and figurines. I hope you can see them. See the little bird. So here we go. We're gonna get started. So we're gonna do 6 of them. This is the sample of how they sell it at the store. They're made out of plastic. They're not made out of glass, so that's why I like it. Because you can make this project with your kids. The only thing that you wouldn't be able to let your kids do is use the glue gun, because they could get burnt. So that's a part of the gluing that you could do for the kids so they won't get burnt. Or you could use like a different kind of glue and let the glue dry, and then that's a more safer way of using it. So we're gonna get started. So we're gonna use 1 fairy, and then we're gonna put the little hearts next to her in the background. And we're gonna get started with this one. So we're gonna put a background on this one. So we gotta cut a couple like branches to make it look like a tree. So let's see if this is gonna work. We put it in the background. I'm just gonna bend so we could, I think it's too long, so we're gonna bend a little bit more. So now we're gonna put the hot glue on the bottom. So what we're gonna do, we're putting glue, some of the glue stick on the glue, so we were able to glue it on the background. So we already put two of them on. So I think we're gonna see how it's gonna look with only two of them instead of three. So we could put if you have big fingers like me, it's a little challenging, but it's cool. I'm using this thing, you use it for your hair. So I use that to hold her into place with the glue, and now she's in there. So now we're creating her little garden. See? And now we're gonna put some hearts in the background. So we're gonna put some glue on the bottom of it. And then I'm gonna use this for the hair to put it in there because my fingers are too big. So now, before it dries, I gotta move it into place. There it is. So see how nice and pretty it's looking. And now we're gonna add some of the bottom flower moss and put it in there. So we can make it look nice and pretty and green, like she's in a little forest, very luscious with green. Put it here on this side. And then let's add some on the background. I'm gonna have to use the tweezers or this thing to put some in the back behind her because my fingers are too big. So we'll see how nice and pretty it's gonna look once we get all this into place. The hearts are not staying into place. There it is. See how nice and pretty? And now we're gonna add a little bit of rocks. And I am gonna put some glue on the rocks so they could get stuck to the moss, flower moss, so it won't move around so much. Let's see if this is a good idea. And see, before you know it, you have created a little bit of a fantasy with a fairy garden. And we're gonna put this, hang it on the window. And it's so cute because when you look at it, you could put it at your work, give it to a co-worker, you could give it to your daughters or your mom or your friends. And this kind of like takes you away to a dreamy place where you could fantasize about being in a different place. You don't necessarily have to be where you're at. You could always dream that you're somewhere else. And see, before you know it, you created a little beautiful little garden with a fairy in it. And it's so beautiful. It's cute. See, that's one idea. Let's try another one. See, this is the first one we made. See how beautiful it looks? She's right there in her fairy garden. And we have 5 to go. So here we go. We're going to make our next fairy garden. And I think we're going to use the background white. So like this fairy is going to look like she's in the snow. So we're going to cut. Here it is. We're going to cut like if she was in the snow. So we're going to make her background look like she has like snow trees in the background. So like you gotta cut the little trees. So we're cutting this to make it look like she's in the trees in the snow. So little trees in her background. So once I'm cutting them, they're falling apart, so I'm gonna have to glue them together again with the little trees that have the little, it looks like snow. So then I'm putting some hot glue on the little edges so they can stick together. So same thing, this one we're gonna glue it here so it won't fall apart. And then I have a hot glue gun that has the temperature where, like, when you touch the glue, it doesn't burn you. It's like a low heat glue gun. Because believe me, I've been burned before and it's not fun. So I think I end up getting a hot glue gun that doesn't hurt when you touch the glue. So we're gonna put glue on the bottom to put our first little tree in there. And I'm gonna use this one here to put it inside. So I gotta stick it up, make it look, this is not helping. Okay. So see, we have the first little tree in there. Then we're gonna put our second tree in there. And I'm pushing it as further as I can to the back, so it could be in the background. And now another one. Oh, my hot glue gun needs more glue. So here we go. So now we're gonna put this one here in the background. And I think I'm gonna put a fourth one back there. One more. And on this one, we might just make it we're just gonna put rocks on the bottom to make it look like she's in the snow. See how the difference. So now we're gonna put this little tree in the back. Trying to put it as further as I can, but stick it up. There it is. So there it is. We have our background of our little fairy. And now we're gonna add our little fairy that's, let's see, we're gonna put this one in there. So we're adding glue to the bottom so she won't move while she's in place. And we're gonna add a deer next to her. So see, we're gonna put the deer right there, right next to her. And that's gonna look so cute. So let's see, should we add just white rocks to it? Or should we add green to it? No, let's add. So you're gonna add white rocks to it so it could look like they're in the snow. So I'm tilting it a little bit so we could put rocks in the back, in the background. And then we're gonna put rocks now in the front. So I can make it look like they're in a white snow area. So I'm tilting it so they can go to the back. And there it is. We're gonna make it, put a little bit more rocks in there. You could, we're gonna hot glue some of them so they could be just in position so they won't move that much. So I'm gonna put that one there. So we can make this one look like she's like in the snow area. So see how beautiful that already looks. Gives you the fantasy like she's in a white snow area. See how beautiful? They're just resting there. So now we're gonna make another one. I'm gonna add another one too. This one we're gonna make it, it's gonna have like a red background. So I'm gonna cut this decoration leaf. It's red. And I'm gonna make it look like she's behind a red forest. So we're gonna cut them. So we're cutting them so they could fit inside. And this is gonna be like the background. So this one's, I think I'm gonna glue some rocks in the back, and then once I glue the rocks in the back, I could glue the little tree stem to the rock to give it a little bit of stability. So we're gluing the rocks to the back, and to those rocks we'll be gluing the stem that we're gonna put in our background. And one more, let's see, another rock. Okay, so now Let's see if we could glue these little stems in the back. So we're gonna use our tweezer to see if we could stand it up so I could stand up in there. Yes, there you go. It's like a red forest, a little red forest in the background. Let me use my little tool here. Trying to put it. Okay, it's not, this one's not gluing, so let me cut it a little bit. It's probably too long, or it's patience. That's all it is, you need a little bit of patience. It's okay, so we got 2 more to go. And now 1 more to go. I'm gonna tilt it like this, so with my finger I could glue it to the rock. I unglue that one. Yep. Okay, that one's loose. I'm gonna have to do it again. Oh, now the rock came apart. Well, at least it glued to the rock. So now let's put the rock back in there. And we're gonna use our on this one, we're gonna make a background of trees, just stumps. So we're gonna cut this branch that I have into little stumps so we could put in the background. So what I'm doing, I'm cutting them. Oh, this one's I need another, the bigger one. So we're gonna use this pliers or cutters. There you go. Oh, they're flying all over the place now. Okay, so let's see. So here we go. So we're cutting the tree. Let's see. Okay. Alright, here we go. So we put this stump in there like this for the background of our fairy forest. Well, let's see if I could fit this in there. So to be able to glue it in there, I'll have to cut it a little bit more. No, actually, let's see if I could put it in there. Oopsie. So there we go. Is it too long? There it is. See? So what we have to do is just glue it to that area. Actually, I think I'm going to take the leaves off because the leaves doesn't make it look realistic. I want it to look like a tree. So we're taking the leaves off and then we're gluing the bottom of the stem so we could put it on our fairy garden. We're creating a tree in the background. So I'm putting more glue on my glue gun. And let's add glue to the stump and put it in there. So here we go. Bringing it inside. Giving it the illusion that it's in there. Bringing it down. And there it is. So now I'm going to put a couple of them in there. I'm going to put another one in there, so we're going to put glue, and then we're going to put it in there to make it look like the background is a tree, a stump. So we're going to move it to the back, try to keep it together. And now we're going to add another one. So we have another piece, so what we're going to do is take the leaves off. Because we want to give it the illusion that it's a... So I'm cutting it with a wire cutter. For this one, you need the bigger cutters. Oopsie. So I'm bending it. I'm gonna bend it down, and this one too, to give it the illusion that it's the tree that's like down. There it is. So I think we have another stump for our fairy house or garden. Okay, so we're gonna add glue. And then we're gonna put it in there. And let's push it into place. There it is. So there's our fairy background. She has trees in the background. gonna put some, we're gonna put our fairy in there. And we're gonna put our fairy like on top of the tree. Like she's on the tree. So we're gonna hold it so it could glue together. So there it is. And now, oh, let me take this glue that dried there. That's the beauty of hot glue. Once it dries, you could always take it off because sometimes you end up adding some glue to the areas that you don't want to. So on this one, we're gonna put a bird in there with her. So we have this beautiful red bird. And we're gonna add it in there. And we're gonna put the bird closer to the, actually we're gonna put him turning towards her. So see, it's a beautiful like illusion that we're creating. And now we're gonna add our moss to it. I said the wrong word. So I'm just gonna throw it all in there. And then we're gonna push it down. We already hide our fairy in there somewhere. But we're gonna push it to the back. And bring it down to the front. So once you put it in there, you want to flatten it out to give it the illusion that they're in there. I think I'm adding too much. I'm gonna have to take some out. And then cover her completely. So now we're gonna push it down. I think I have too much on this side. Let's take some out. Give the bird some space to breathe. And her little fairy too. So now I just gotta bring the back down. Just gotta bring the back down. So. You see? And before you know it, you have a little illusion there that a fairy. Actually, let me see. Wow. I was going to take the bird out from the bottom and put him on the tree. But he's stuck. He's nice and stuck there, so that's where he's going to stay. So see, we created a little garden where she's sitting on a stump of a tree, on a tree, and she has a little bird next to her. So this is one. So now we already created 4 of them. So see, we created 4. Let me move this so you can see. So now the next one we're gonna put a rabbit. So here comes the next one. I made this little circle, so I'm gonna glue this in the background. So I could use this. I could use this as a supporting section in the back, where we're gonna support the background that we're gonna put on it. So it's already. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna push it, and I'm gonna use this thing that I have here. There you go. So what I want to do, I want it to stand up, and that I'm gonna use as a support, so I could glue these pieces. So we're gonna make it luscious green in the background. So I cut this. I have this as a decorating piece of greenery. So now I cut it and we're gonna put it in the background. So we're gonna glue it to it. So this one's gonna be here. It's gonna I'm gonna glue it to it. And then I'm gonna add different ones, different sizes. So I cut it, and I'm gonna hot glue it to the one that's there. I think this one's gonna be a little bit easier because I could just hot glue it to the pieces there. Now we're creating our green background. And now this background, we're gonna cut this little piece, and now we're gonna add it, put some hot glue on both sides, and then we're gonna glue it to our background area. So this fairy is gonna have like a green background, and we're gonna add a little bit of nice pointy stems to the background. So this one I'm gonna put it here, and then the next one I'm gonna cut it shorter, and then we're gonna add it to the other side. And then this one, let's see, cut the edge at the top to make it pointy, and then we're gonna put glue. I was gonna say gun. I said gun. Never mind. Glue. Some glue, so we could glue it here, like our background. And now to that, we're gonna add a little pointy one too, like the other side. I'm just gonna cut it a little shorter, and then we're gonna add some glue. And we're creating our fairy background. So now we're gonna glue our fairy and our rabbit into our background. And I think I'm gonna cut one of these stems and put it the long way and glue it so I could put my fairy in there. Like she's gonna be sitting on top of this. So we're gonna put some, we're gonna glue it, and I'm gonna use this to put it in there because I don't want to burn myself because I put too much glue in it. And there it is. We're gonna put it across. And now that it's glue there, you're gonna put another piece in front of it and glue it. And we're gonna glue this one in there too. It's on top of the other one. So we're gonna glue our fairy onto that piece that we just put there. And I need more glue. Let's see, so we're gonna add glue. And we're gonna put our fairy right on top of this. She's right there, sitting on the... Now I need to take this piece of glue. Hopefully my tweezers could remove that piece of dry glue. Come on. There it is. Thank you. Beautiful. And now we're gonna put the rabbit facing her. Here. And now we could either add rocks. I think we're gonna add rocks on the edges instead of putting the moss, because we already have greenery. So we're gonna put rocks right on the edges. So I'm gonna just put them in there. So we're gonna let some go to the back and then put some here. And see how beautiful it is? It's a fairy tale. Beautiful. And it's easy. You just use your imagination and you could make anything you want. That rock looks pretty in the middle of them, huh? I'm gonna leave it right there. You could glue your rocks down, but when you put it on the window and it's gonna move around, the rocks are fine. You don't have to glue them. So that's another one. See how pretty it is? I think we're gonna leave it like that. So we're down to 5. Here they all are. We're creating our fairy garden. Now we're gonna do our last one. And look, here's my little fairy tale garden that I created for my window. So I could just look at it and I could think that I'm somewhere else. But look how beautiful. You could create anything you want just using your imagination. See? We created our planter fairy tale garden. And now we're gonna hang them in the window and they're gonna look beautiful.